Okay, yogis, happy Wednesday. You guys all voted for which class you wanted today, and it seemed like a lot of you wanted a hybrid class of yoga and Pilates, kind of like my Thursday yoga core. So that's what we're doing today, a little yoga and Pilates mixed together. So we are going to start on our mat. You can come down whenever you're ready, but first let me say, if you have been told by a physician or any other medical professional to refrain from working out, I would not participate in today's class. If you are ready to go, put on your favorite yoga music, whatever that may be for you, and we're coming into Balasana, child's pose. So you can open your knees as much as you need to, and press your hips all the way back to your heels. If you find that this is a little bit too much on your knees, you could always shift your hips up a little bit higher so you're not going down as far. Or you could widen up your knees and put even a towel over in between your heels and your butt. Some people like to stack their fists under their forehead. Others like to fully extend down. And take a few deep breaths. We're going to walk our arms diagonal. We're going to move our hands towards the right and drop down. And coming up, moving our hands towards the left. Let's sink down. And don't worry, my candles aren't real. They're flameless, so I can't burn myself. And let's walk once more to the right. Final time towards the left. Coming through center into our cat-cow. So we'll stack our wrists directly under shoulders, knees directly under our hips. We're going to round our back up, hollow the belly. Inhale, expanding our heart open. Rounding our back, expanding open, trying to mobilize through the spine, through the neck and shoulders as well. Today's class is more of an intermediate class, but you can most certainly modify for beginner or for advanced. First pose we're going to work actively into is our down dog. So find your perfect plank. This is on hands and toes. Your abdominals are engaged. We're going to slightly soften our knees. Push our hips to the back of the room. Hollow the belly. And then we're going to roll our spine forward into a high plank. We're going to roll our hips back up into downward dog, soften the knees, press the heels, undulate through the spine into high plank. This is where our core work is starting to come in. 2 more times like that. And 1 more time for you. And then you'll meet me in child's pose. I'm actually going to be showing a couple of side view variations today. So when you finish this last plank, drive the knees towards the ground, back into child's pose Balasana. I'm going to give you a side view of this next series that we're going to do. From your downward dog, you're going to come into a split down dog or a 3-legged dog. You're going to use your core muscles to draw your knee into chest. you're just watching right now, and pull your foot towards the top of the mat. You'll lift up into a lunge, opening the hip flexor. So when you're ready with me, now come out of your child's pose into your down dog. Let's split your right leg up to the sky. Drive your right knee to chest. Flatten your body. Put your foot down between hands. Bring the back knee down to the earth. Now, if this hurts your knee and you have access to a yoga cushion or a little pillow, you could always pad up that back knee. We're going to rise up, lift our heart, feel a beautiful stretch in our back left hip flexor. And pressing hands back down, coming into a traditional downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Repeat to the left side. Left leg is up. Squeeze your butt. That's part of your core. Drive your knee in. Shift forward and come into your lunge. Cushion the back knee if you need a little bit of help. So you have an option now. You could do this series one more time, right leg, left leg, or you could come with me into more of a hip opener. Pigeon pose. Let's press back. The right leg lifts. Take the right knee to chest. Drive your shin behind the heels of your hands and slide back into pigeon. If you're feeling like this is too much on your hip this early, stay with the lunge variation. Hold for another breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming with me, rock to hands, curl back toe. Lift the back knee and step to the rear. Pedal out. Opposite side. Leg up, leg sweep, either lunge or pigeon. Opening up the hips. You could stay on your heel of your hand or come to fingertips. Holding another breath in and out. Curl the back toe under, lift the back knee, step back into down dog, and start to walk your hands and feet towards the center of your mat. We're going to hold and forward fold. If your hamstrings are feeling very tight, maybe your hands rest up a little higher. If you're feeling a little more like an advanced practice, let yourself fold down and just hang. Let the arms dangle down. Roll up like a rag doll. And shake yourself out. Sun Salutation A series. We are going to do the full series, and we will see in the middle of this series a three-legged dog or a split down dog again. And we're going to do a little knee pull, so it's almost going to be like a little crunch for your abs. We're going to do 4 rounds, 2 on the right side, 2 on the left, alternating. Let your hands come to heart. Inhale, bring arms up, belly in, hinge forward. Lifting up halfway, hands to shin, forward fold. And does not matter which leg you start with. We're just going to step back into a high plank. Are you ready? Plank, back. Now from your plank, lift your hips up high, downward dog. We practiced this transition already. And with your right leg, lift up into split down dog. Just like you're preparing to sweep forward into that lunge, flatten yourself out to a plank. Drive the knee in towards your nose. Exhale out. Inhale, lifting up. And pull the knee in. And pressing up. Let yourself come back into your downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to thumbs. And we're gonna sit our hips back and down for chair. Hands at heart. Rising up. Inhale, upright salute. And forward fold again. Halfway rise. Hands around the shin. So it's not a super traditional sun salutation, but it's still flowing the body. Does not matter which leg you start back with first. Step or jump back into high plank. Feel the core, wrap the spine, and press the hips up and back. Now left leg lifts up very high. 2 knee pulls. Shift your shoulders over your middle fingernails. Drive the knee into nose. Push back. Try it again. Driving forward and back. And step your foot down to downward facing dog. Hips stay up high. Walk your feet up to hands. They're about hip width apart. Sit your hips back and down. Pray for it to be over in chair pose. Inhale, lifting up. 2 more times, tipping down. Forward fold. Halfway rise, feel length in the back of your body. Belly knits in. Forward fold. Stepping or jumping back into high plank. And if that's too much, kneeling plank is there for you. Let's come into downward facing dog. Take the right foot high. 2 knee pulls. Big breath. Exhale out like you're shushing someone. And downward dog, traditional 2 feet in. Walk your feet up to hands. Sit your hips back and down. You could pray or you could extend up your arms. Lift up high, touch hands overhead. Last salutation, forward fold. Halfway rise. Fold again. Step or jump back to your plank. Feel your body firm. Tip the hips up. Downward dog. Left foot high. 2 knee pulls. Pull 1. Pull 2. Hold. Downward dog. Walk your feet up. Sitting into chair. Fierce pose. Lifting up. Hands together. Hands to heart. Shake out. Cool. Let's come into our strength series now that our body is feeling a little bit warm. You can take your feet wide on the mat. I'm just going to come away from my treadmill a little bit here. You're in a different room today, in a different room in my house. It's like we're on a quarantine vacation. When I set up for my warrior 2 and my legs are wide like this, I want to think about being maybe 2.5 times the width of my hips. I'm not locking out my knees. They're ever so slightly bent. And I'm going to take my right toe, spin on my heel, turn that toe out. Bend the knee at 90 degrees. So you want your knee directly over your ankle, and you don't want your knee to collapse inward. You want to pull your knee open. This rear leg is straight but not locked. My shoulders are right over my hips, and I'm going to extend out my arms. Now, if you have a shoulder issue going on, hands on hips, hands in prayer, giving yourself a hug, those are all great places to be. We want to feel the muscles that surround our femur, the quadricep, start to engage. Take another breath in and out. Next breath in, straighten forward leg, straighten your 2 arms overhead, and we're going to hinge forward towards our shin, ankle, and then reach 1 arm up to the sky. Again, those of you with shoulder issues, hand on hip is a great place to be. You could always come up higher, or if you have a yoga block, you come down lower. I usually like to use a block or keep my hand on my low shin. Couple little resets. If your arm is hanging up high with me, playing the air guitar, stretching out the shoulder, and see if you can eventually tuck your hand into back pocket for half bind. Looking straight ahead or looking down, depending on how your neck is feeling. We're going to transition into a pyramid pose. Release the half bind hands. Walk your back foot up towards the right, maybe 1 to 2 steps. You're turning your hips and shoulders over that right toe, trying to keep your back flat. Now it's hard for me without blocks to keep my back flat, so I need to walk my hands up to my shin, and maybe you do as well. You might notice this left hip goes a little bit astray, so roll the left hip inward, lengthen the crown of your head, and you're feeling a lot of muscular energy in the hamstring, a lot of stretch. Take one more breath in and out. Walk the crown of your head back towards me. Let yourself come into forward fold. And your feet are only as wide as what you feel comfortable with. You could stay here with fingertips on floor, shin, yoga block, or you could do what I call the Roman handshake and just sway your arms, sway your body. I can still feel those feet grounding down firm to the floor. Let's bring our fingertips down to the mat, soften the knees, use your strong core, lift yourself up. Let's repeat to the opposite side of the mat with Warrior Two. So I'm going to once again establish that my feet are wide enough, my knees are not locked, and I'm going to take my left toe, turn and spiral it out. Bend my knee right over the ankle bone. Make sure my knee is not collapsing inward. Want to pull it out and take your arms to whatever Warrior Two position feels good for you. If your mat was made out of that really thin paper that covers a doctor's table, you'd be ripping it in half with your feet. That's our activation. Take one more breath in. Out. Inhale, lift arms up. And exhale, come down for triangle. Option, support hand on hip. Or option, come down lower. Encircle this top arm if you're moving with me. Shoulder mobility. If and when you feel ready, take that hand, tuck it into your back pocket, or reach for your thigh. Look straight ahead or down. Pyramid pose is next. Looks kind of like a hieroglyphic, or what I guess a stereotypical hieroglyphic would be. Release the back arm and walk your rear foot up to the left. You can turn the toes slightly in. Straighten 2 legs. If you would like to come up higher with me, that's where I have to go. That's where my flexibility is happiest. Come up as high as you like, or if you have yoga blocks, place them under your hand. Tuck your right hip forward and down. Lengthen the crown of your head. And feel the hamstring get a little bit of relief. I'm sure we've all been doing a lot of sitting during quarantine, so just trying to stretch out some of these muscles that get really tight. Let's walk back towards the front, so you're facing towards me, toes turned towards me, standing forward fold, wide legs again. Option, widen your legs more for more intensity, or bring your feet a little bit closer if you need. Hands could be on shin, yoga blocks, or you could just dangle and sway here. Allow the arms to come down, soften your knees, use your strong core, pick yourself up. We have two balance postures today. Walk your feet in under hips. If you're on a very cushy surface, like I'm on carpeting and two mats, it might make you feel a little bit unstable. So if you would rather get to hardwood floor, or if you need a wall to hold on to, or a chair, that is fine. Our first posture is called tree. We've practiced this one before together on the videos. You're going to take one toe, turn it out, option to come low, heel on ankle, medium, foot on calf, or high, foot to inner thigh. Place your hands at heart or in Kali Mudra up overhead. Focus on one unmoving spot in front of you. I'll look at the blinking red light on my camera. Feel your glutes, that's your butt muscles. Squeeze. If you're looking for a really beneficial activity to do during this quarantine and during this time off and time inside, doing some basic anatomy lessons might be really beneficial. Learning some of the major muscle groups and what they do for you. So your glutes, it's your butt, and it's a pretty big lower body muscle that we want to have toned and strengthened. Let your hands come back down and let your feet come back down. Mountain pose, reset yourself, very stable on the ground, and repeat. Toe and knee out, option low, medium, or high. Now, one thing about coming up high, make sure that you're not putting pressure against the inside of your knee. Make sure you're either above or below your knee, or if you just find you can't help but to be on your knee, make sure it's like the arch of your foot that's around the knee, so you're not putting pressure on that joint. Open up the knee, squeeze your booty, squeeze your abdominals, lift your chest. Relax the shoulders. Try not to fall like I'm about to do. And relax. Mountain pose. Now I said we have two balance postures today, and that is true. Our second one is called standing pigeon. If you need a wall, go ahead, place one hand on wall or chair. If you're coming into just all balance chaos with me, try to sit into a mini squat. We're going to pick up our right ankle and take it onto our left thigh. Flex your foot. Again, if you have a hand on the wall, that's fine. Sit your hips back and down like you're about to sit into an actual chair, and lift your chest. It helps to open the hips to keep this foot at flexion. So not pointed, flex. Focus one unmoving spot. I'm looking at the very top of my top mat. And rising up, same thing, opposite side. This time I'll show if I was holding a wall the whole time. So, little squat, pick your leg up, flex your foot, sit your hips back and down. You should be feeling this, the leg that's crossed over, in that butt cheek, or that glute. I hope you're feeling ready to do some abs. You've gotten your stability. Now it's time for core and Pilates. Lift up, set foot down, shake out. Whatever way you want to come down to the ground, go for it. I'm going to move my candles here. This is the Pilates section of class. We're going to start with something we call the 100. And it's called the 100 because we do 100 times these little hand pulses. They're not from the wrist, they're from the shoulder. And the whole concept behind this is we want to keep our spine stable and not overly arcing while we do these other movements to challenge our stomach and back muscles. So I'll show side view for these. Roll on down, and we will have our knees at 90 degrees, half of a box. If you have a neck problem happening, I recommend keeping your head down. However, traditional Pilates would have you curling up like a crunch, tucking your chin, and everyone reaches their hands away from the floor. Start with 5 pumps breathing in, 5 pumps breathing out. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2. Now move the legs. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. Exhale. Shh. Your eye gaze is on your belly button. And your legs are strong, like you're pushing out on a big brake pedal. Inhale. Exhale. Give your quads a little bit of a squeeze. That's the top of the thigh. If your neck hurts you at any time, you set that beautiful head right on down to the floor. Inhale, exhale, and hug in, rest your head. Second move, single leg knee tucks. You're gonna pick any knee, your favorite knee. You're gonna hug on to the shin, knee or ankle, and extend the opposite leg. Head down for if your neck is feeling strained. Otherwise, crunch up. You're going to do 2 breaths, change. I'm somewhat crunching my shoulder blades up towards my knee. Big crunch, crunch. You got 4 more. We're going to go right into bicycles or crisscross, as we call them in Pilates. Hands behind the head and just twist and cross. Elbow towards opposite knee. Keep your low back down. Big breath, big breath. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, hug, second break. Next move. Hands come underneath our bottom. Helps us to lift up our pelvis just a bit to keep our back in a happy position. So legs come up, and you're going to create a mermaid flipper out of your feet. So your heels are together, toes are apart, inner thighs zip up together, lower your legs down about 45 degrees, lift up, and then reverse curl. Poke a little hole in the ceiling. Down, up, kick. Down, up, kick. Inhale and exhale. Hopefully you're feeling your lower abdominals here. Make sure you land on your hands softly. You have 4 more. 3. Going into the roll up next. Last time. And hug. Place your feet flat on the mat. And reach your arms behind you. I may come out of frame just a bit. Crunching up, grabbing the back of your thighs. Extend your legs, breathe all the air out of your stomach, reach for your toes. Lifting up, bend the knees, roll down the vertebrae, and reach your arms back. Now, that's how you would stay doing this exercise to modify. If you're coming with me, do not grab the back of your thighs. Lift up, crunch, reach your legs and hands forward, come into a hamstring stretch sort of position, lifting up, bend knees, 1, 2, roll down. You have 1 more time, just 1 more, lifting up, exhale, lifting upward, rolling down. I want you to lift up 1 more time, come to seated position, and face towards the front. Seated twist, into a boat. Your legs could extend if this hurts you for whatever reason. You could bend your knees or sit cross-legged. I'm going to press my hands together, roll the shoulders back. I'm going to do a nice open up hug, come center, and then I'm going to rock back into boat. So I'm balanced on the medius portion of my bottom. Extend the heels, give a twist, come center, rock back boat, and extend out just 2 more times. Big twist, big center. If it hurts you to twist, don't go as far. Go slow on the twist if you like. Last time here. Reaching open and center and boat. And roll yourself back up. Woo. Next core exercises have to do with our, not only our abdominals, but our glutes, that's our butt, and our back. They all work together. I'm going to give a side view. If you're an individual that has some issues going on with their wrist, you could turn your wrist out sideways, so fingertips fan out. If you're coming with me in traditional hand position, fingertips face your bottom. We're going to pin our shoulder blades together, lift our chest, place one foot flat on the floor, and your opposite heel digs. You're going to lift up into a half of a reverse plank, and you're going to hold for 4, 3, 2, and reset. I want you to sit up, shake out your wrists. You're going to do it again to the other side. So rock back to your hands. One foot down, one heel to the mat, shoulders back, press up, hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the backs of your hands together, let your fingertips dangle down, just stretch for the back of the hands. If you're up for a challenge, I'm going to come into a full reverse plank with my 2 heels on the ground. I'm going to lift up my butt. If you do not like that, if you need a break, I invite you to come down for knees to chest. That's a stretch. If you would like to stay with me in the active work, place 2 heels down on the floor, 2 hands back. Shoulders back, lift your butt up, abdominals tight, holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone come down, knees to chest. Our final posture before we do some stretches, some nice feel-good stretches. This is bridge pose. Heels come down close to butt. There's a fist distance between the knees. And when I lift my hips up, I'm going to walk my shoulders under my body. So it's like I'm gripping the mat with my shoulder blades. Lift your hips up. Walk your shoulders underneath you. And if you have the range to clasp your hands and extend, go for that. Roll your rib cage up and towards your face. Squeeze that imaginary apple between the knees and hold. Beneficial for the whole back of the body. One more breath. Release the hands, relax the shoulders, roll down the spine, knees to chest. We did a full pigeon variation at the beginning of class. A little bit unusual to do it at the beginning of class, but we are living in unusual times. We are going to do a reclining pigeon here. This looks like a figure 4 for your legs. So one ankle is across my thigh. I could pull in of my own strength, or I could reach my hands under and through and hug. We also did a standing pigeon in balance. Even rock side to side a little bit if you like. Should feel really good. Breathe in as big as you can and let it out. We're going to repeat the same exact stretch to the opposite side of the body. So if you don't have that range, or maybe you don't have a yoga strap or anything to grab your leg with, just try to pull in of your own, whatever you have available to you with strength. If you can reach and grab, go for that. Maybe rock side to side. If you need to take these stretches longer on any side of the body, go for it. I'm just going to start the next transition. Follow when you're ready. I crisscross the ankles, tuck my chin, use my core to help me lift up, and come onto the mat. Cobbler's pose, or bound angle pose. Some people call it butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees open. Your knees might be a little popped up. Does not mean anything is wrong with that. You do the best that you can. If you would like to take a little twist, one hand to the ankles, one hand behind you. And changing when ready. We have 2 more stretching postures. I will have you extend your right leg to me. Pull the left foot in towards the inner thigh right area. For some of you, it's going to be very challenging just to hold this and to sit up straight, and that's your stretch. If you are looking for extra, walk forward. Walk back, changing sides, walking forward. Our last posture is a seated twist. You could have your right knee bent and twist from here, or you could cross it over and you could brace your knee into place, twist from here. I like to flex my extended leg and put pressure into that back hand to help me twist and look over my shoulder a little more. With twists, stretching is good, pain is bad, so if it hurts, you come right out of it. I urge you to come out of this very slow. Think of an unwinding or unraveling and change direction. Again, if it bothers your hip to cross the midline, just take your twist here. If you're going a little more active and your spine is okay with that, follow me. unwind. I hope you guys are all enjoying these videos. This is the end of today's yoga core class. If you would like to stay just laying on your mat, relaxing for your savasana, your final relaxation, you absolutely may. If you're getting ready to go, do whatever you need to for the day, teach your kids. If you're an essential worker, thank you. Maybe you're getting ready to go to work. Thank you for spending time with me today. And if you're not doing anything at all today, that's okay too. You can rewind this, do it twice. All right? I say to you, the light in me sees and respects the light in you.